Well, hello everybody and welcome to another C's Gearbox video, and in today's video I am at Llandudno Transport Festival, where you can see a real array of vehicles here for us to see. So we're going to dive in, have a little look and see what happens. So Llandudno Transport Festival always happens the early May bank holiday here at Bodafon Fields, and it is part of the bigger, wider Victorian extravaganza that happens in the resort as well. Always worth a visit. So come to North Wales, come visit it, and you'll see cars like I'm about to show you. Let's dive in. So let's start off with this 1985 Vanden Pla Maestro, complete with brush painting and what looks like possibly a Webasto sunroof as well. A very, very original condition, shall we say, except for possibly those later wheels. And then we have a rather nice Ford Consul. Probably, I would suggest, either very, very late 50s, maybe 1958, 1959, something like that. And the Consul, one of the three graces of Ford in that era, and with the Zephyr and the Zodiac. A rather nice Granada estate. And then a Capri. And a lovely turquoise Mini. Nice late Cooper, which is for sale. You can ring Matt. Very nice. My uncle had one of these very late Coopers from new in 1997. So I've got a soft spot for them. And then another car I've got a real soft spot for is the Jowett Javelin. I've always really liked the Jowett Javelin. I remember reading about them in a very early copy of Practical Classics, and it was something that always appealed to me with those, suicide front doors and things like that. So it was a really nice example of this one. Lovely in burgundy. So often you see these in black. Very, very nice. So another 90s Mini, followed by a Wolseley Hornet, so Mini-based little saloon. A Minor, a Stag. God, I do like a Stag. And then another Rover SD1. We'd said the other day how much I liked a Rover SD1. This one is a 2600, so not the big Vitesse. That's very, very cool indeed. And then, now I think this is a Chevette estate, or is it a Cavalier estate? Or whatever. It is indeed a Vauxhall Chevette estate. So from sort of 1980s, late 80s, so maybe very early 80s, maybe 1980, 81. Nice Chevette estate. Again, very, very original condition. The decline of the estate car, that's something I want to talk about at some point. And then a Chevette van as well. Nice Ford Anglia, a Triumph 2000. So before the MG Midget that came out in the 1960s, there was another MG Midget, and this is the MG Midget from 1933, known as Bluebell. This car is fantastic because it just looks like you could jump in and use it. It's a really usable looking car. I'm wondering if it ever does any trials, because that I think it would look ideal for doing some kinds of trials. So yeah, that is a superb example there, and well done to Bluebell, whoever's brought Bluebell, because that is really lovely. Mark I Fiesta in beautiful original condition. Look at this, a sort of tobacco-y colour. This one looks that basic, could be an L, but that is absolutely brilliant. Looks like it has come from Anglesey today. And then you have a Granada 3 litre, a Bertone Astra Coupe, something that you don't see as much anymore, and they're good looking cars, those. Designed by Bertone, of course, hence the name Bertone Astra. The coupe and the convertible, which actually made the Astra a bit more exciting than its rather dowdy hatchback counterpart. And then we have a couple of Austin 7s, a really diddy. And that beautiful red Alvis, look at that. So I'm going to guess again, maybe early 50s. That is a beautiful design. Look, when they knew how to put chrome on cars. Big headlights. Next up, a lovely Morris 8. So started to fare the headlights into the wings, didn't they, by the 1940s, to try and bring design up to date, and the Morris 8 was a great example of that. And then, of course, later in a Morris Minor. Put a tiger in your tank. And then a Mini Moke. So this one's an earlier, looks like a 1960s Moke, maybe 65 looking at the plate. So that one would have been a UK built Moke back in the day. So different to the one I saw at Billie Jean's the other night. Mustang. Now often they say you're either a Ford man or a Vauxhall man, and I've got to admit I think I'm a Vauxhall man. This is a really lovely example of a Vauxhall VX 2300. Very nice. And then a beautiful 80s Nissan Sunny. Really appreciate seeing a Nissan Sunny here today. The Sunny, such a paragon of reliability back in the day, and that is in absolutely beautiful, beautiful condition as well. And I believe that's owned by my friend Shane, actually. I think that is Shane's Sunny. He's obviously done some nice work to it. Also owns a Mitsubishi Cordia Turbo. And then a Ford Orion. Now, funnily enough, I saw one at Billie Jean's. It might have been the same one. And then James saw one at Cars and Coffee. So that's 3 Orions in recent weeks. Before a lovely Jag XK150. Stunning, stunning shape. And then spin over here, because we know how much I like cars from the 90s. How about a Proton? Look at that. I see that every year, and every year I admire it. My landlord, whilst I was at university, had a Proton like that. There we are, fun stories. Rover 75, as we were discussing today. And then another beautiful Vauxhall. This one is a Cresta. Again, from the late 1950s, this very lovely Cresta, particularly attractive paintwork and you know, the lovely white down the sides and the chrome on the bonnet. The lovely bonnet emblem also, so really, really nice. MGBs, I stand by what I said on the last video at Shedfest. MGBs really are very attractive cars. A fake Cobra, but then here we go. Here is where my excitement level peaks. This is a Hyundai Pony X2. When did you last see a Hyundai Pony, let alone a Hyundai Pony X2? Goodness me, that Hyundai Pony is a real survivor. So it succeeded the original Hyundai Pony. This was the second generation Pony. And this one, dating from about 1992. But it was an early 90s hatchback. It was budget conscious. Hyundai, before they became very mainstream. That is a pleasure to have seen today. And very quickly, an Escort van. Used to be everywhere. Now you just don't see them. Absolutely stunning Vauxhall Victor. Very, very, very nice. And then an Austin 1300 Countryman. I went with a little wood swipe at the side, but the Countryman was the estate version of the Austin 11 and 1300. And famously, of course, it was a red Austin 1300 Countryman that Basil Fawlty gave a damn good thrashing to in Fawlty Towers. This one, however, doesn't look like it's ever going to need a damn good thrashing. It is beautiful. Then you have a Mark 1 Golf GTI. I always remember my English teacher had a Mark 1 Golf GTI. But that is a really, really, really nice condition. Next up, the MG RV8. So MG tried to kind of relaunch themselves as a sports car manufacturer with the RV8, which was an updated version, if you like, of the MGB, and was very, very popular in the Japanese market. And a lot of the ones that we find in the UK today are actually re-imported from Japan. And then, of course, you know that I'm going to absolutely adore a Vauxhall Nova, especially a hatchback, a nice early generation. So I'm going to have a little nerd moment where you can tell, okay, the separate grille on the front of this shows that it is a Mark II rather than the all-in-one grille of the Mark I. So there we go, a little nerd moment for you. But that is in, again, lovely, usable condition. And I regret selling my Nova that I had. So a lovely little standard 10 saloon, small and diminutive, very, very basic, but a very cute little car of the late 50s and early 60s. And then going back to some real style here, this is an MG Magnate, okay? Now, if I can hopefully manage to get to see it inside here, I can get you angled in enough. The dashboard on these is amazing. They're like hexagonal clocks, but that is a stunning, beautiful piece of design. And you know what? They really knew how to design cars back then, didn't they? Look at this lovely Austin A105, Austin Westminster. Absolutely stunning. Getting back to our cars of the 90s, how about this? It is a Fiat Panda. This beautiful Panda in really, really original condition. Now, there's always a couple of Pandas here at the Transport Festival. I've seen an Italian 90 in the past, but this is an absolutely stunning condition. Very, very, very impressive. It is a Sergio Tacchini edition as well. Look at that. Stylish. A nice Cortina as well here. A Ghia, no less. These early XJs are something that I do very, very like, much like the style of sort of 60s Jaguars, 70s Jaguars. I think they knew how to style cars better than anybody else. And then a Cavalier SRI. Beautiful 80s Cavalier. That's the shape I remember so often when I was growing up. And then a Trojan bubble car. So small. Another Ford Orion. That's two. Go on then. Anybody know what it is? Any guesses? Any guesses? No, me neither, until I had a little look at the sign on it. This is a Clino. And it's a 1926 Clino open, four-seat open tourer. It is magnificent, and I know nothing at all about Clinos. I'm going to find something out. That's my job to research later. Another minor, and actually, again, some nice commercial vehicles here, and this lovely mini van. Look at that. W.R. Parry & Son Roofing Contractors from Unismon. It is an beautiful little van. Some fantastic commercial vehicles here, like that, a couple of Bedford trucks there. Very, very beautiful little confectioner's Austin down there. Over this side, we've got some shorties. Little shorty minis and a shorty metro in glittery purple. Oh, I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I may have just found my car of the show. British Gas Maestro van. That is exceptional. So, British Gas Wales Cymru. So, it looks like it's either been decorated up as, or it is indeed a local van. But Maestro vans were everywhere. They were what you saw up and down the country. British Telecom, British Gas, all those nationalised industries of the 80s. And that looks immaculate. Well done to the owner of that for bringing that today, because that's probably my car of the show. So here we are in Land Rover paddock. A nice Coast Guard rescue one. An earlier Series 2 from the 1960s. Well, that one could well be a Series 1, I think. Very early job, right down to these later Defenders. Ever popular Land Rover. And you can see why. The Rolls-Royce Fire Brigade turning up in an LDV Sherpa. Should I make the obvious comment about cooking meth and Walter White? Or shall I just appreciate the amazing shape of a Winnebago? That's amazing. Another fantastic Maestro van. Lovely Dodge family wagon van. And then this very beautiful Chevrolet truck. Graham Fawcett Classic Car Welding, give him a shout out there. I think I've filmed this Mercedes G-Wagon before, but it's a very early, original G-Wagon there. A rather nice Ford Corsair of the 1960s. Family motoring in the 1960s was much more stylish than family motoring in 2026. One of the amazing things about Llandudno Transport Festival is that you get incredible machinery such as this Dennis fire engine. Guessing this looks like it's probably from around the 1940s or 50s. And I happened to see this one driving down the A55 on my way home from work on Friday. So I could see this one, so it's very much a runner. Nicely done. And then you also get next to that this Dodge fire engine as well. This one's from the 1980s. So large laddered fire engine, this one. London Fire Brigade, so I should imagine for accessing high buildings. An excellent example of a commercial vehicle. And then keeping with the working vehicle theme, how about these two beautiful AA bikes? So this is a 1955 BSA on this right hand side, complete with the AA sidecar when the AA man used to approach you on a motorbike with your broken down car. This one looks like it may be same sort of vintage. The little AA panniers there to get you going again. Another BSA. And then a massive row of tractors. Might have a little look at some of those in a moment. So this is the BBC X control room wagon. You can see here with the cameras on display. And you can see up here into the control room part where there's all sorts of varying controls. What have you? Camera wagon in here. Very iconic vehicle, that one. Okay, so we have various buses as well here at Transport Festival. It's always a really good one for buses. So here's a Go Goodwin's early Bedford coach, and also Go Goodwin's, they're a North Wales based company with something a little bit more jonk here, a Volvo from the late 80s. Take the National Express. Oh yeah, National Express bus. Take when your life's in a mess. And then we have a lovely DAF as well. And how about a nice old Leyland open top? Always a pleasure to ride on an open top bus. Another one from the 80s. Travel West Midlands. I say a really good selection of buses always here at the Transport Festival. National Express Coventry. This one belongs to the Black Country Bus Preservation Group. And then another bus. I start to run out of bus knowledge. I have many friends, however, who would know exactly what that bus was. The great thing with the Transport Festival as well is the fact that these buses are often in operation because they will run the vintage bus service from the Transport Festival field into town for the extravaganza. So it is good, and I look forward to riding on something vintage and bus-like later. I can see them all ready in their queue. There's Mersey bus, another 80s Mersey bus here. And if we go over here, we can see all sorts of lovely older trucks as well. Look at that big towing rig one there. Live blue smoke action. But again, looking at all the going across the vintage buses, such a variety. Ones that you will remember from your youth. Ones that you will go, oh, they took me to my swimming lessons or on holiday or something like that. Some nostalgia for everybody here. Oh, again, look back when buses used to be good looking. That is a stunning, stunning piece of equipment, isn't it? The colours, the coach built, the chrome, real craftsmanship went into that bus. Absolutely incredibly impressive. There's a big old Bristol bus as well. Bristol engined, I should imagine, but Bristol Tramways and Carriage Company. More nostalgia for me. The old Midland Red. Growing up in the Midlands, this one's the Chase Rider. I think I rode on this one last year, actually. A good old Leyland National. Another Leyland National here, Ribble Valley. And over this side, a couple of fire engines. Look at the Borough of Stourbridge. Lovely 30s fire engine there. And a 90s Scania job. And eventually, once Ernie had replaced Trigger the horse, he bought himself an electric milk float. See who says EVs are only a project of modern times. Buckley's Crane Hire is a local crane hire company that always bring off a good display of various machinery and cranes. So here's a really early Atkinson, and then a Matador, pair of Matadors, in fact, AEC Matadors from Buckley's Crane Hire. On this side, 80s Volvo's trucks and some early Fodens also. But look, this I think it just gives you a snapshot, a flavour of the massive variety that we have of both commercial vehicles and cars. You can see here, nice Crosville recovery bus there. Sound advice for anybody before they leave the Transport Festival. Well, that's all here from Llandudno Transport Festival today. What a super event, a real wide range of cars there today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have, please hit that like button. Please consider subscribing to us here on C's Gearbox, and please comment on it below. What is your favourite car that you've seen on today's video? Enjoy, and see you in the next one.